FantasySportFans.com.
Hello.
We are back. Back. We're so far back.
What does that even mean?
I don't even know what I'm doing right now. What's going on here?
Did somebody say Indianapolis Colts?
Yeah. Yo, shout out to the fans. And Indy, you have something to be proud of.
Not losing Peyton Manning.
Yeah. No, you guys should be proud to have a decent team, even fantasy-wise.
Decent?
I'm going to go with decent.
You're not even going to go with good?
No, I'm not even going to go good. This is a decent team. Good would be
overall or fantasy-wise?
Both.
Just decent? I would go more on the good side of things.
Really, decent I think is above good, because decent's like, this is a decent team.
Decent's kind of so-so.
Good is like, they're good.
Nah,
they're not bad. They're good. We'll agree to disagree.
We'll agree. All
right. So check this out.
Andrew Luck.
Man, you knew exactly where I was going there.
Yep.
What a lucky guess.
Because I'm the co-host.
Yeah, you are. Hey, quit looking at my notes.
We have this thing.
No, it's called you looking at my notes.
Nah, whatever.
Hey, don't look at my notes.
I have my own notes. I don't need your notes.
I'm not even going to cry over that.
Yeah, didn't even cry.
All right, Andrew Luck, man. Let's see here. 23 touchdowns, 18 interceptions, 4,374 yards, 16 games started.
His rookie year. That is insane. If you notice from some of our other mashups, that's way better than veterans who have been in the league for 3 or 4 years.
Check this out. 23 touchdowns, right? Rushing 255 yards with 5 touchdowns. Of course, yes, he did have 10 fumbles. 5 of them were lost. But hey,
that happens.
When you're doing that much work, bad stuff happens. That's just, you can't avoid that. So I'm just going to say, Andrew Luck, yeah, this could be a draftable guy.
Was he worth the number 1 pick overall for them?
Oh, definitely.
Him or RG3?
Ooh. You know what? I'm actually going to go with Andrew Luck.
Yeah, I am too. RG3, I just don't know if he can last in the league.
It's not that. It's not that. It just seems like
his first year he gets injured and tears his ACL.
Well, look at this. Can you imagine Andrew Luck in Washington? I can't. I can't do that. I can see RG3 there, hands down. I can't see RG3 in Indy. I can't do that.
I don't know. I didn't really see Andrew Luck being a Colt either, with Peyton Manning being there for however many years, 12 years.
Yeah, there was big shoes to fill, but you know what?
Huge.
He stepped in. He definitely filled some shoes.
Yep.
He did it with a bang.
So would you have him as your starting quarterback on your fantasy team?
I could roll with him.
Yeah?
I could roll with him.
You're not going to spend like an early round draft pick or anything on him, though?
You mean like a 9th round draft pick? Yeah, sure.
Is that early?
Yeah, man. I think you could find Andrew Luck somewhere in the mid rounds, and I think he could definitely step into that starting role on your fantasy lineup and be amazing.
Yeah, I'd roll with him.
Yeah, all right.
If I didn't want to spend one early, I'm not one of those people though that grabs a quarterback in the first round. I don't do that.
So, no, you have too much good talent to be taken in those rounds. Why spend it on a QB when you can grab someone like Andrew Luck in the later rounds? And if you're drafting Andrew Luck in the first few rounds, like say 1 to 5,
don't do that.
You're an idiot. So just
kind of rude.
Over that.
There's going to be some people who don't do that, and they're listening to you right now, and they're like, man.
They're like, oh, man, you just shot my dreams down, man.
Yeah.
I was going to get that guy in the second round. Well, you're an idiot. Don't do that.
It's got to be an Indianapolis Colts fan, though, that does that.
And Colt fans.
Homer.
Hey, I know some of you. You're cool. But guess what? Don't do it. Don't draft him too early. You'll find him later on. People will sleep on him, and that's what you want. But it's not really sleeping. He belongs there.
So who's he throwing the ball to?
Let's go there.
Yeah.
Let's go there. I'm going to leave the All-Star for last. So we'll start out with third.
You mean the guy who's getting very old and whose career could be slumping a little bit?
We'll get there to that dinosaur in a second. Right. I may end that whole slumping question mark that you have, actually.
He had a really good year last year.
Check this out. T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton, this guy is going to be great. This guy, I think, is going to have an amazing year this year. Alone, just last year, 50 catches for 861 yards, 7 touchdowns. The guy played in 15 games. He actually started in one of them. But this guy, I think, is going to be a legit number 3 receiver.
Number 3 or number 2? I was thinking maybe even more towards that 2 range.
He could be.
Some people.
If talent is a little low and you're one of those guys who takes wide receivers later than earlier, then yeah, he could definitely be a number 2.
People had him as the 3rd receiver last year, and that was his rookie year. Don't you think he's going to develop some? Maybe develop into that number 2 guy?
Well, okay, he could develop into that guy, and I think he will, but before we go there, let's kind of step into this picture a little bit, because we need to get a feel for this wide receiver core.
Yeah.
In free agency, they went out, and they picked up Darius Hayward-Bay. Okay, Darius Hayward-Bay
was a top 10 draft pick, which was ridiculous in the first place by the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, well, who was their owner at the time? Rest his soul. Hey, Al was cool, but come on. Darius Hayward-Bay did not need to be drafted.
They're all about the speed guys, man. They wanted the guys who were fast.
Exactly.
That's it.
But when you look at Darius Hayward-Bay, I don't think really Carson Palmer and him really had a very good relationship. And I'm going to tell you why. 41 catches, 606 yards, 5 touchdowns, 15 games played. The guy just was not utilized very much at all. Now you have someone who, like Andrew Luck, is going to be back there. He has the reins of that team. Clearly is the team captain of that offense. I'm telling you, Hayward-Bay.
He's a good 3 receiver for that team. You can't really beat him as a 3rd receiver.
And Hayward-Bay could easily step in and put up some great numbers. I think he actually really could. I think he could come in there and really do some damage.
So if T.Y. Hilton would be a number 3 receiver, then what would Darius Hayward be?
I tell you what, I'm not having Hilton and Hayward-Bay on my same fantasy team, but if I'm looking at both these guys as a number 3 receiver.
Both of them?
Yeah, both of them. They could easily be a number 3 receiver.
Maybe utility spot?
Yeah, definitely, absolutely. But moving on, tell you what, let's get to that dinosaur that you're talking about, Reggie Wayne.
That old man whose career just resurfaced with Andrew Luck.
And I'm not throw this in your face or anything, but did I not say last year before the draft, Andrew Luck would reinvent Reggie Wayne? I believe I said that.
My mind's a little fuzzy. I don't know if that's exactly what you said.
Yeah, you know what? I know what I said.
All right, I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
There we go. So check this out. Reinvented, 106 catches, 1,355 yards, 5 touchdowns, 16 games started. He played in all the games.
That 5 touchdowns is what kills me, though.
It
5
is
touchdowns in 16 games, that's terrible.
And you have to realize, though, I was looking at his yardage over previous years. He's only gotten over 1,305 yards only just a couple times. So for him to do this, he has the third, this past year was the 3rd most in his entire career that he put up those amount of yards. So I'm just going to say, he's going to come back. He's going to do some good things. There's a reason why he wanted to stay in Indy and not go to Denver wherever Peyton went. Indy is his home, you Indy fans. And guess what? He showed you guys. He played his heart out. And he's going to come back. He's going to play his heart out again.
I just can't have him as my number 1 receiver. Are you talking
number 2.
Number 2.
Receiver? Number 2. Absolutely. Number 2, hands down.
1,300 yards is a lot. If that 1,300 yards stuck and he had 5 more touchdowns and had double-digit touchdowns, then that's a legit number 1. But your number 1 receiver has to have more than 5 touchdowns.
Exactly. But you have to look at it, though. You have to look at this whole picture. Last year, T.Y. Hilton, yes, he was there. He did put up his miraculous 861 yards. I don't know
how many touchdowns? 7, 8?
Yeah, he had 7 touchdowns.
7, 2 more than that guy.
But look at it, though. There's a reason for that. They were double covering Wayne the entire time. This year, guess what? Defenses had to prepare completely different because now you got Hilton, now you got Hayward-Bay, people who can draw attention away from Wayne.
You can't double cover everybody.
No, you can't. So these guys are going to get open. They're going to get right down the field, and Wayne could easily, I'm saying he's going to be a good number 2. He could easily be a good number 1 by midseason.
I think he'll match those numbers.
Absolutely. But moving on, Kind of the toss-up if you look at it. I really don't know how it is, but you got Donald Brown and Vic Ballard, I don't know how you say his last name.
Did they not draft a running back at all this year?
Well, you know what I do know?
Not in the top rounds.
No,
at
it
least.
definitely wasn't in the top rounds.
It wasn't some
because I'm going to
playmaker.
tell you what they went in their top rounds here in a minute. But
All
check
right.
this out. Donald Brown, injury prone, I guess last year. The guy was in and out.
He had such a good preseason too. Everybody had high hopes for
The guy played in 10 games. He only started 4, and there's a reason for that. Check this out. The games he was playing, 417 yards. He had 1 touchdown, receiving 93 yards. That just goes to show, the guy was banged up. Because guess who else got the bulk of the load? Mr. Vic Ballard. 814 yards
I like
rushing.
how you say Ballard instead of Ballard, and that's all because of me from
That
saying
is
Ballard.
because of you.
And now you just say it wrong every time.
It's just coming natural to me
These
now.
fans are going to be like, what is wrong
Who's
with
that
this
Ballard guy?
Who's
And then
Vic
you're going to be in a
Ballard?
bar, and somebody's going to be like, who's Ballard? Man, you're like, you know that guy from Indy.
Yeah,
No,
that dude.
his name's Ballard.
you're from Texas.
But Vic Ballard, 814 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns. He did have 3 fumbles, but great news, none of them were lost.
3's not a lot for...
No, it's not. He did have 152 yards in catching. One of them was for a touchdown somewhere in there.
Wasn't it that touchdown where he did like a somersault, landed backwards?
You mean the
upside
replay I
down
see on NFL Network every single week?
Day?
Yeah.
Was that a rush or receiving? That might have been his one receiving
Yeah, it
yard.
may have been. I couldn't tell you.
That
but
was a ridiculous
It was
play,
an
though.
amazing play, though.
Almost as good as that backflip that dude did.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, check this. Yeah, Jerome Simpson.
Yeah.
Check this out. You want to talk about health compared to Donald Brown? Ballard played in all 16 games and started 12 of them. So the guy can definitely stay healthy. He can definitely be a workhorse when he's given the starting role every single week. And let's just face this. Whenever Brown did come back, Ballard was still getting the ball. So I'm just going to throw it out there. Ballard's a good pick.
Not a number 2 kind of running back to me. Maybe the utility spot.
Yeah, I would say utility.
The backup spot, you know. He might be good, but other than that, you know, I'm kind of steering clear out of both of those guys. I want the workhorse running back, not the guy that's sharing the load.
Yeah, I'm definitely not drafting either of these guys as my number 1 or number 2. Not even a number 3, probably. Unless I know Ballard for sure is the number 1 guy. He's going to get the ball week in and week out. I'm not drafting this guy 1 through 3. He's my utility.
So who do we got at tight ends? Is that where you're going next?
You know, I am going to go to tight ends.
Don't they have 2 of them?
Yeah, and I kind of don't know what to say because one of them's injury prone, and I thought this was going to be a really good matchup with Luck and Kobe Fleener last year, but I was proved wrong. Fleener had 26 recorded for 281 yards for 2 touchdowns. The guy played in 12 games, only started in 10.
Yeah.
The guy definitely had his rookie injury, as I call it. For some reason, rookies like to get injured in their first year. So moving on to Dwayne Allen, the guy who's definitely stepped in and filled the role, played in all 16 games. As a matter of fact, he started all 16 games. Only had 1 fumble. He had 3 touchdowns out of his 521 yards, and he had 45 recorded for those 521 yards.
I don't know if I want either one of those guys, to be honest with you.
I'm not getting either
Unless
one of
I'm
them.
desperate.
Yeah. Desperateness. So if you're looking at that, then take it as you will. But moving on, you got their wonderful veteran kicker, Adam Vinatieri. Last year, 33 of 26. His percentage, his rating as a kicker was a 78.8. This guy was golden from 20 to 29, 8 for 8. But check out this trend.
I don't even know if I want to hear about the kicker, to be honest with you.
Hold on. I want to give you this
trend. The kicker is such a terrible position in fantasy sports.
There's a reason why you draft last. But check this out. 30-39, 4 for 7, 40-49. He was 9 for 10, 50 plus. He was 4 for 7. But every PAT, the guy's 100%. You can't go wrong. So
if you're getting paid millions of dollars, you should be able to kick it 12 yards.
You should
every try.
What if you don't?
Huh?
What if you don't?
Then you shouldn't be paid millions of dollars. You should go play soccer or something.
Can you imagine
football in Europe?
Can you imagine missing that and you're still getting paid? That's like the easiest job in the world.
Terrible.
I missed that. I just got paid like a couple $1 million.
I don't think there's backup kickers. I don't think that they have backup kickers.
Yeah, I think the NFL has their own waiver wire for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so check this out. Defense, they're kind of loaded coming into this year for defense. You got Robert Mathis who's coming back. You got LaRon Landry who was picked up. You got Pat Anger, Vontae Davis.
LaRon Landry is a huge dude, man. Have you seen him?
He's massive.
They need to check him for
tested
PEDs
him, right?
or something. Yeah,
they
exactly.
tested him, right?
What is wrong with that?
I'm just asking. Anton Batea, I'm telling you, Indy was actually ranked 21st in the league overall defense.
You think they're going to be a little better, maybe in the 15 range?
Oh, without a doubt. And actually, just to go back, the draft, they actually did some really cool stuff. The draft is this past year, they picked up some really great players for their running game.
Yeah, I think most of their early picks were on defensive players, because I know they didn't go after running backs for sure.
Yeah, actually, here we go. Warner was actually their number 1 draft pick, defensive end. So
Bajorn Werner, I believe is.
Yeah,
Bajorn.
There you go.
Hey, did you know that he was from? I actually saw this kind of interesting thing about him the other day. He's from somewhere overseas, and they didn't even have football. Like, they had no idea on any kind of sport like that. So he actually just sat in the backyard and taught himself everything that he knows. He didn't even start playing football until he was like 18 years old.
Really? I thought that first name could come out of somewhere like Alabama or
Bajorn?
something. Yeah, Bajorn.
No.
Alabama
that
name?
Sounds
No?
like France or something.
Maybe New Orleans.
Bajorn?
Yeah, there's
maybe New Orleans.
Yeah, no, probably not. All right. Check this out, though. Just for you people to know, their run game, it's going to improve. Because you can tell where they're going with this. Their second-round draft pick, Thornton, offensive guard. Third round, Holmes, center. I'm telling you, they're trying to vamp up that darn O-line. They're trying to make it better. They're trying to give Luck some better protections. That way he's not on his back most of the time. They're trying to give that running game a little bit more time. So they're definitely trying to ramp up that entire offense.
Yeah. With that first pick on Bajorn, obviously they want some sacks going on,
Yeah.
The rest of the time, protect your franchise quarterback. That's what you've got to do.
Exactly.
And what does your offensive line need to do for quarterbacks? They need to block for them to throw the ball. That's how you get fantasy points.
And if you have a great offensive line, those fantasy points comes through, guess what? A W for your week, because your fantasy quarterback could easily put up over 40 points.
So, Seth, Andrew Luck, that's your starting fantasy quarterback next year?
Yeah, if nobody else is better on the board, why the hell not?
With the Reggie Wayne combo.
Hey, man, that's a good combo.
And the dude that did a crazy somersault into the touchdown as your running back.
Jerome Simpson, who plays for the Minnesota Vikings.
No, not the backflip, the somersault.
Oh, the summer. Oh, yeah.
The
You're talking about Ballard.
Like
yeah, here we go. Man, there's been some crazy plays lately. It's hard to figure out which one's which.
All right, that's it for the Colts.
Peace. Hey, Seth here with FantasySportFans.com. Hey, be sure to enter your name and your email on our website to get instant access to our free beginner's guide of fantasy football. By subscribing, you will get free Fantasy Sport Fans updates, tips, and Fantasy Sport Fan news with no spam.